Welcome to Italy. Today we're taking you on a culinary journey through a country where food is an art form. From the bustling streets of Rome to the serene countryside of Tuscany, Italy offers a rich tapestry of flavors and dishes. Get ready to discover the passion, tradition, and brilliance that goes into every bite.
Listen up, you lot. Let's start with a classic, the pizza margherita. This ain't your average takeaway pizza, drenched in grease and piled high with toppings you can't even pronounce. This, my friends, is a Neapolitan masterpiece, a testament to simplicity and flavor. It all starts with the dough, stretched thin and cooked in a scorching hot wood-fired oven. The base needs a good char, those leopard spots are like badges of honor. Then you've got the sauce, a simple blend of San Marzano tomatoes, bursting with sweetness and a touch of acidity. Next comes the mozzarella, not that rubbery rubbish you find pre-shredded in a bag. We're talking fresh, creamy fior di latte, torn by hand and scattered over the sauce. And don't even think about overloading it. This pizza is all about balance, about letting the ingredients sing. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, a few fresh basil leaves, and you're done. Simple, elegant, and utterly delicious. That's the beauty of Italian cooking, you see. It's not about fancy techniques or complicated recipes. It's about respecting the ingredients, letting them shine through. So next time you're craving pizza, forget about those greasy abominations. Seek out a proper pizza margherita, a true taste of Italy.
Now, let's talk about comfort food, Italian style. Lasagna, a dish that's all about indulgence, about rich flavors and hearty portions. This ain't your grandma's soggy lasagna, though. This is the real deal. We're talking layers upon layers of fresh pasta, each one perfectly cooked and coated in a rich, flavorful sauce. You've got your meat ragu, slow-cooked for hours until it's meltingly tender, every mouthful a symphony of savory goodness. Then there's the creamy bechamel sauce, smooth as silk, adding a touch of luxury to every bite. And of course, no lasagna would be complete without cheese. Not just any cheese, mind you, but a blend of Parmesan and ricotta, sharp and creamy, adding a salty tang that cuts through the richness of the dish. It's a labor of love, this lasagna. Each layer carefully assembled, the flavors melding together in perfect harmony. One bite and you'll understand why this dish is a staple on Italian tables.
Risotto. You think you can just throw some rice in a pot and call it a day? You think this is a bloody joke? Risotto requires patience, skill, and a bloody good stock. We're talking about a dish where the texture is just as important as the flavor. We start with arborio rice, those short, plump grains that release their starch slowly, creating that signature creamy texture. And the stock, it's the heart and soul of a good risotto. None of that salty rubbish from a cube, we're talking homemade, simmered for hours with vegetables and herbs, extracting every ounce of flavor. Then comes the stirring, constant, gentle stirring, coaxing the starch out of the rice, creating that velvety, smooth consistency that makes risotto so damn good. And the flavors, oh the flavors. You can go classic with mushrooms, earthy and rich, or take a trip to the coast with fresh seafood, delicate and flavorful. Risotto is a blank canvas, ready for you to paint your culinary masterpiece. But be warned, it's a dish that demands respect. Get it right, and you'll be rewarded with a culinary triumph.
Ice cream? Don't insult me. This is gelato, the king of frozen desserts. Forget that overly sweet, artificially flavored rubbish you find in supermarkets. Gelato is a revelation, a symphony of pure, intense flavor. It starts with fresh, seasonal ingredients, carefully selected and handled with care. We're talking ripe fruits, bursting with sweetness, rich chocolate, and creamy nuts. And the texture. Oh, that texture. Dense, smooth, and intensely flavorful. It's churned slowly, incorporating less air than ice cream, resulting in a richness and intensity that will blow your mind. Pistachio, hazelnut, stracciatella, the flavors are endless, each one more delicious than the last. So ditch the diet and indulge in a scoop or two, or three, of pure Italian bliss.
Tiramisu. The name itself evokes images of indulgence, of rich flavors and luxurious textures. This is a dessert that's not messing around, a dessert that's here to satisfy your sweetest cravings. We're talking about layers of delicate ladyfingers, dipped in strong espresso and layered with a creamy mascarpone mixture, so light and airy it melts in your mouth. And that coffee flavor, it's not just some weak instant rubbish. We're talking strong, bold espresso, adding a touch of bitterness that cuts through the sweetness of the mascarpone. And speaking of mascarpone, this ain't your average cream cheese. Dust it all with a generous layer of cocoa powder, and you've got yourself a dessert that's as beautiful as it is delicious. It's the perfect way to end an Italian feast, a sweet and indulgent treat that will leave you wanting more. Right, listen up you donkey. Carbonara, a dish so simple, yet so often butchered. Cream? Absolutely not. This is a dish that relies on just a few key ingredients, but those ingredients have to be top-notch. We're talking about guanciale, cured pork cheek, diced and fried until crispy, rendering out its rich, salty fat. Then there's the pasta, cooked al dente, tossed in the hot pan with the guanciale, its starchy water creating a silky sauce. And the eggs! Oh, the eggs! Fresh free-range eggs, whisked with grated pecorino romano cheese, creating a sauce that's both rich and delicate. It's all about timing with carbonara. Add the egg mixture off the heat, tossing constantly to create a creamy sauce that coats the pasta perfectly. Get it right, and you'll be rewarded with a dish that's pure heaven. Ossobuco, a dish that's all about slow cooking, about letting time work its magic. We're talking about veal shanks braised low and slow until they're fall-off-the-bone tender, the marrow melting into the rich, flavorful sauce. It's a dish that takes time and patience, but trust me, the results are worth it. We start by browning the veal shanks, sealing in all those delicious juices. Then it's into a pot with white wine, vegetables and stock, and left to simmer for hours, the flavors melding together in perfect harmony. And the gremolata, that's the finishing touch, a simple but essential addition that adds a burst of freshness to the dish. Parsley, lemon zest and garlic, chopped finely and sprinkled over the ossobuco just before serving. It's the perfect contrast to the richness of the veal, cutting through the fat and adding a bright citrusy note. This is a dish to savor, to enjoy slowly, with a good glass of Italian red wine. Pesto, that vibrant green sauce that screams freshness. That's the taste of summer in a jar. But we're not talking about that bland processed stuff you find in supermarkets. This is pesto alla genovese, the real deal, made with just a handful of ingredients, each one of the highest quality. Fresh basil, the star of the show, its fragrant leaves picked at their peak. Pine nuts toasted to perfection, adding a nutty depth of flavor. Parmesan cheese, sharp and salty, grated finely and added to the mix. Garlic just a touch for a hint of pungency. And extra virgin olive oil, the lifeblood of Italian cooking, binding everything together in a silky smooth emulsion. It's all about the technique with pesto, traditionally made with a mortar and pestle, grinding the ingredients together slowly, releasing their oils and aromas. But a food processor will do in a pinch, just make sure not to overprocess it. Pesto is incredibly versatile, adding a burst of fresh flavor to any dish.
Arancini, those golden brown balls of crispy fried goodness, a true taste of Sicily. These aren't your average snacks. These are little pockets of flavor, each bite a revelation. We start with risotto, cooked until firm, the perfect base for these little flavor bombs. Then comes the filling, a mixture of ragu, mozzarella, and peas, a classic combination that never fails to satisfy. The risotto is shaped around the filling, creating perfect little balls, then coated in breadcrumbs and deep fried until golden brown and crispy. The key to perfect arancini is to make sure the risotto is cooked properly, not too wet, not too dry. One bite into these little balls of sunshine, and you'll be transported to the sun-drenched streets of Sicily. They're the perfect snack, appetizer, or even a light lunch.
Focaccia, that dimpled, chewy flatbread, brushed with olive oil and sprinkled with sea salt. The smell alone is enough to make your mouth water. It's the epitome of Italian simplicity, a blank canvas for your culinary creativity. We start with a simple dough made with flour, water, yeast, and a touch of olive oil. It's kneaded until smooth and elastic, then left to rise until doubled in size. The dough is then stretched out on a baking sheet, dimpled with your fingers, and brushed generously with olive oil. And now for the fun part, the toppings. Sea salt and rosemary are a classic combination, but the possibilities are endless. Focaccia is best enjoyed fresh out of the oven, its crust crispy and chewy, the inside soft and airy. It's the perfect accompaniment to soups and stews, or simply enjoyed on its own with a glass of wine.
Thanks for joining us on this delicious tour of Italy's top foods. We've explored the classics, from the humble pizza margherita to the elegant ossobuco. But this is just a taste, a mere glimpse into the vast and delicious world of Italian food. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more culinary adventures. We'll be exploring more cuisines from around the world, sharing tips and tricks to help you recreate these dishes in your own kitchen. Ciao for now, and happy cooking!